This is Sid and Friends in the Morning.
Entertaining and informative.
Oh, you're my best friend.
77 WABC.
Great song right here, Genesis, Phil Collins. Been a tremendous show. Norm Coleman, Curtis Slewa, Peter King, Caitlin Sinclair, and Bill O'Reilly. But this guy I love. I got about 8 minutes I want to spend here with New York Post columnist Michael Goodwin. His latest story, Kamala Harris puts the lie in allies when it comes to supporting Israel. And I read this a couple of days ago, Mike, and I just said to Bill, you know, she could have shown up yesterday and sat behind the speaker and been phony about it like Tlaib and the rest of those Democrats were. Or she could have done what's in her heart, which is, I'm going to go spend time with some sorority nonsense in Indiana because, really, I don't care about Israel or the Jewish people and shove it up Bibi's butt. So I think what she did yesterday, what she did was what's really in her heart. Is that fair to say?
I think so, Sid. There's no other way to explain this. This date was not sprung on her, and even assuming she had this prior engagement, I mean, that's why God made Zoom. Right? You could have done both in the same day.
Well, you cancel a stupid sorority appearance for the prime minister of our biggest ally.
The question is one of priorities, right? So you can do both, but you must do the big one. You must do the meeting with, as you say, Netanyahu, because for her it's not just the speech. There also would be private time about the policies because she probably has not been as engaged as she would be if she were president or even wants to be president. So this is a time to broaden the relationship, to deepen the understanding, to learn new things, maybe to convey new things. But to skip it all together, I think just tells you all you need to know about her. As you say, she doesn't really care about this.
No.
I mean, she cares about it to the extent that she doesn't like Israel. And she is, basically with those protesters. I mean, did she denounce the protesters?
Nobody in that party did. And I'll tell you something else. It's even worse. Not only does she not care about Israel, but she wants to so much appease the Tlaibs, the Omars, the AOCs, those protesters, that, today she is meeting with Bibi. And that's going to be the media's deal. Whoa, she is meeting. Yes, she's meeting behind closed doors. There'll be no pictures. But she never wanted a picture in a public forum with Bibi to upset those low-life Democrats who hate the Jews. So she's meeting with Bibi today. So what?
Well, also, I think we have to look at the record, which is what I tried to do in that column. So when you go back and, just from October 7th till now, you and I have talked a lot about Biden and his wavering hot and cold relationship with Israel and always wanting Israel to pull back. Much is the same way he does with Ukraine, without recognizing that the issue is different, that Iran wants to destroy Israel. And you cannot keep trying to just keep the war going or do a little bit because you're just perpetuating this problem of Hamas and all of these terror groups. But when you look at that record, whatever Biden said and did during that period from October 7th to now, she was always more radical. The things that she said on her own, even if they were scripted, were further out on the edge than anything anyone else in the administration was saying.
Agreed.
And so you have to assume that there was, for example, she's talking about potential war crimes back in December and then again in March. She's talking about the catastrophe. Now, we're telling the Israelis. I mean, it's very much separating herself from Netanyahu and from Israel. And yes, there's a lot of that with the Democrats hating Netanyahu. It goes back to Bill Clinton, certainly Barack Obama. Joe Biden continues that. But this is a war where they're trying to end Israel's existence. Yep. That's the enemy here. It's not your political differences with what in effect is a conservative government in Israel. It is your job to help our ally beat back this threat to its existence. And she has been absent this entire time on that score. It's only criticism. Oh, yes, Israel has a right to defend itself. Criticism. That's been the bell she keeps ringing.
Yes.
And she rang it very loudly yesterday by not being in town.
Let me take it a step further. It's not just about Israel's existence. I know you know this. It's about our existence. One thing that Bibi did, I thought, so well yesterday was continue to make the point. They're coming for Israel first, then you. They are a week away, according to Blinken, who I can't stand, but he's being honest, from a nuclear bomb that can hit San Francisco or Charlotte very, very quickly, okay? Israel's the appetizer. We're the entree. He made the point. I'm keeping American boots off the ground. We're fighting a war keeping you safe. So at the very least, this Harris, at the very least, she could hate the Jews. She could hate Israel. How about showing some appreciation for what Netanyahu and Israel does for us?
Yes, I think that's a really good point, and that has been the point. I must say, Netanyahu has been making that point for years, right? When Israel obtained, let's say, the nuclear plans from Iran, and he came to Congress, right? Obama didn't want to hear it. Obama has never wanted to hear it, and neither has Biden, because Obama believed, and Biden, like a little puppy, has just followed along, that the way to calm Iran was to bring it back into the world of nations. Let's be a trading partner. Join the, you'll benefit from being part of the global economy. All of that rubbish. And he never understood what Henry Kissinger understood 3 decades earlier, which is Iran has to decide, is it a country or a cause? And it's still a cause. It's not a country. It's a cause. It doesn't care about its own people. It brutalizes its own people. It spends whatever money it has on these terror organizations. And, of course, the mullahs all live like kings. But it is very much a cause, and the cause being the elimination of the non-Islamic world.
Yep.
And I mean, so the reference to Israel as the little Satan and America is the great Satan, that's not just a cute little thing to say. That's the goal.
Exactly right. So in the final 60 seconds, this is I think the best writer in the country. I mean that. New York Post columnist Michael Goodwin. I mean that sincerely. Look, Biden was half dead. And it was over. I actually thought Trump was going to kill Biden. I don't think I did. I don't think he's going to kill her. And not because she's a better candidate. In fact, I think she's a worse candidate. But she checks those two very important boxes, black and female. And this Democrat Party, as I said yesterday, will have her now as Martin Luther King with the female anatomy. They made her into this unbelievable person when the truth is she's been a failure at just about every political position, including Attorney General. Do you agree in the final 60 seconds, not based on merit, but based on DEI, that she becomes a much more dangerous competitor than Joe Biden?
Yes, in the sense that she is a symbol, right? I mean, that's the DEI, I think, code, that she's a symbol of something. It's not about her. It's like it's women and it's non-whites, right? That's what she's symbolic of here in her supporters. So it's not about her policies. It's not about her competency or anything like that, or how she got to these positions. It's that she has become a symbol. And it's very difficult to run against the symbol. And I think Donald Trump's challenge here will be to keep bringing it back to her as a person, as a politician.
And her policies.
Yes, her record and her policies, and to take her off the pedestal, not by smashing the pedestal, but he's got to use facts. He's got to use logic. He's got to show people what Harris presidency would look like, what policy she's favored. Just as we're talking about Israel, her policy on Israel would be more dovish toward Iran than probably even Biden's, which is hard to do, but she would do it. The same thing for other issues. Where would she be on the economy? Where would she be on the border? Where would she be on taxes? Where would she be on, the transgender nonsense? So all these things, and I think he's got to do it, and others have to do it too. J.D. Vance has to do it in ways that strike people's head as well as their heart. Otherwise, if this symbolism, which of course the media will create for her, they're already doing it, right? Oh, she wasn't the border czar. Who gave her that job? The media will elevate her to this symbolic figure, and that is how she could possibly win.
Mike, perfect. That is a perfect appearance. I mean that. So your last column was great. Can't wait to read the next one, and can't wait to talk to you again on this show next week. Great job. Thank you so much.
Always a pleasure, Sid. Thank you.
Me too. Thank you, buddy. Michael Goodwin, New York Post.